Hi and welcome, I'm Elvira Boulet from the Dimitrov Boulet Piano Duo. And today I want to talk to you about technique. Now when most of you hear the word technique, they think about this. But technique is also this. Basically, technique is having a great connection between your mind and your body. Thinking about what you want to hear and how to actually make that happen with your hands on the piano. Now today I want to give you 2 exercises to help strengthen that connection between your mind and your fingers. Now remember, when you do these kinds of exercises, it's very important that you take it slow. That's right, we might have mentioned this once or twice on this channel here. It's important to take things slow, but when I say take a slow tempo to do this exercise, it doesn't mean be slow in your brain. When I tell my students to go slow, it's like they start to fall asleep. Be sure to be sharp and fast up here. Okay, let's get started. So the first exercise is very simple. I want you to put your hands on the keyboard. I want you to play a 5-note scale, which means just from C to G. And what I want you to do is I want you to just start with your thumb, pressing down the C, and I want you to press down as soft as you think will still produce a sound. Make sure that you don't actually do this movement downwards very slow, because if you press down very slowly, moving down, actually what happens is you don't get any sound. So make sure it's one fluent movement going down as soft as you think will produce still a sound. Then do it again and go even softer. Put even less pressure. For me that was too soft because no sound actually appeared. The first time I already hit my maximum softness. But I want you to keep on repeating this exercise until you really feel like you hit your maximum softness. And I want you to try to reproduce the same level of pressure with the same soft sound. Then move towards the next. That was, for example, too loud. So try to put less pressure. Yeah, that was better, much better. So this is the first exercise that you can do on the scale. I would then suggest, once you get the hang of that, of doing the same exercise, but now with one of the pieces that you're playing. Try to very gently play in a slow tempo and try to very gently see where's your limit of softness, and experiment not only with soft, but experiment with trying to envision a certain dynamic and really trying to feel what kind of pressure it takes in order to reproduce that specific dynamic. This exercise not only improves your relaxation by making sure that you don't press more on the keys than you need, it also helps you realize the connection between what you have in your mind for dynamics, like what you want to hear, and the pressure, the amount of pressure that you have to put onto the keyboard with your fingers in order to reproduce the dynamic that you want. Okay, so let's move on to our second exercise. Our second exercise is really trying to focus on relaxation and focusing on our body. A lot of good technique and I know that most of you want to play fast, a lot of fast playing is actually connected to relaxation. Trying to get the most out of relaxation will really help you improve your technique. So we're going to start in the same 5-note scale, just from C to G or whatever scale you want to play. It doesn't really matter. And this time we're going to look at 3 points of our body. Now the first point that we're going to be focused on is our shoulders. Our shoulders have to be low, kind of like as low as they would be if you let your arms hang with gravity, you know? So that's an exercise that you can do before starting to put your hands on the keyboard, is just let them hang really, like let gravity take them, pull them downwards, and then with that feeling just straightening up and really trying to keep that relaxation, really trying to keep that downward pulling feeling. So that's the first point that we're going to try to feel connected with. Are my shoulders hanging downward? Are they pulling kind of downward, or are they creeping up? And if so, if they crept up, then just shake out your hands again, let your arms pull downwards, and just start again. That's the first point we're going to check. So the second point that we're going to check in with is kind of the upper arm areas, just starting with the shoulder all the way down to the elbow. So when you're playing, you would like this area to be free. You don't have to move it weird or anything, but this just shouldn't be locked. This shouldn't be locked and your elbow shouldn't be locked. this should kind of feel so, in some ways of describing technique are a little bit abstract, but with me, I always like to feel like I have space, that I have this, maybe the space to move, the freedom to move, so that it's relaxed enough that I can actually, yeah, have the freedom to move. So for me, it feels like space. And I think that a lot of technique things are very personal and are a little bit of abstract, in the sense that it's a feeling that you have. So however you would describe the feeling, for me it feels like I have space. You need to try to connect with your body, with your mind. You kind of need to connect with your body and see what relaxation feels like to you. So check in whenever you're playing your piece, check in and see if you can move this area of your body. So you don't like make really weird movements or anything, but just see, move a little back and forth to see, is this area relaxed? If you move this a little bit back and forth like I'm doing now, you can feel if it is relaxed, yes or no. So that's the second area that we need to check in with. And the third and final area is the wrist. And that's the same thing, like the wrist has to feel flexible, and the wrist has to feel like it's not locked into place like this, but that it has just the ability to move. So whenever you're playing, whatever you're playing, right? This is a four-hands piece, but let's say you're playing a Chopin Nocturne here. Whenever you're playing something, just make sure that wrist is flexible, that you can move it. Whenever you have a long note, just check in with your wrist. See if it has the ability to move. See if it is a nice and feeling nice and relaxed. And just the fact that you're, and like I said, don't make really weird movements or anything. Just the fact that you're checking in already will really help you try to connect and try to relax as much as possible. Try to make relaxing a habit. So these 3 checking in points, and I would do it not necessarily on this 5-finger scale that I was talking about with the first exercise, but I would do it just while you're practicing. Put even a timer and check in after 5 minutes with the first point. Check in with your shoulders. Put another timer after 5 minutes. Check in with the second point. Check in with your upper arms. See if they are feeling relaxed and if they have some space to move. I hope this was helpful, and I really hope that this starts you on a journey of finding your technique. Technique is partly good habits and partly it can be taught if you have a really good teacher, but a big part of it is also self-discovery. So I hope that you start on that journey of self-discovery. If you're new here to the channel, don't forget to subscribe, join the community. Let us know down in the comments below if you have any requests, if you're struggling with something, you'd like us to make a video on it. Thanks so much for watching, and we'll see you next week.